Think of any playing card. Don't say it. Don't change it. That card wasn't random. It already knows something about you. Take a moment. Before anything else happens, clear your mind. I want you to think of a single playing card. Any card from a full deck. All 4 suits. Every number. Every face. Don't rush it. Let the card come to you naturally, without forcing it, without second guessing. This isn't about influence, it's about instinct. Once you have a card in mind, hold it there. Picture it clearly. The suit, the number or face. Notice how quickly it appeared or how long it took. That alone already says something about you. Now here's the truth most people don't expect. The card you think of isn't random. It reflects how you process the world, how you think, connect, value things, and respond under pressure. Every card in the deck carries a distinct personality pattern, a way of moving through life, a way of relating to others. Some cards lead with emotion, some with logic, some with ambition, some with depth and strategy. Some act quickly, others observe, some adapt, some resist. The card you chose aligns with the traits you rely on most, even if you don't consciously recognize them yet. This works because the mind reveals itself through symbols. When you're given complete freedom, your subconscious steps forward. That's why 2 people almost never imagine the same card in the same way, and that's why your card feels familiar. So don't change it, don't upgrade it, don't switch to a safer option. Trust the card that came to you first. When you're ready, click the link in the description of this video to reveal your card's meaning, including its personality traits, strengths, challenges, and how it connects with other cards and people. Because you didn't pick a card to play a game, you picked a card that quietly describes you, and once you see it, it's hard to unsee. Playing card suits have long been used to symbolize different personality types, each representing a unique dimension of human nature. Hearts reflect our emotional and relational world, clubs represent intellect and communication, diamonds signify ambition and the material plane, and spades embody wisdom and life's deeper challenges. Together they form a symbolic system that helps explain how people think, feel, grow, and interact. Hearts are the suit of feelings, relationships, and intuition. People connected to this suit tend to experience the world through emotion first, thinking later. They nurture others naturally, value harmony, and often take on roles that involve caring, teaching, or healing. Their sensitivity allows them to read subtle signals in people, but it can also make them vulnerable to emotional overwhelm or a tendency to please others at their own expense. Overall, hearts are guided by compassion and the desire to connect deeply. Clubs symbolize mental energy, learning, communication, and creativity. These personalities thrive on ideas and exploration, always wanting to understand how things work or express thoughts in unique ways. They are excellent problem solvers and often juggle many interests at once. Their quick minds make them adaptable and inventive, though they can become restless or impatient if things move too slowly. Clubs lead with logic, curiosity, and an endless hunger for knowledge. Diamonds, represent the material world, things like success, money, values, and personal standards. People who are really aligned with this suit tend to be practical builders. They like having goals, structure, and making tangible progress. They care a lot about quality, whether that's in their work, their lifestyle, or even in relationships. And often, they have this natural sense of style or craftsmanship. Their drive is what helps them achieve great things. But, well, that same ambition can sometimes lead to stubbornness or even a bit of competition, especially when they're under pressure. Honestly, diamonds shine brightest when they feel secure, accomplished, and respected. Spades are often thought of as the old souls. They symbolize wisdom, discipline, and all those lessons that help shape a person's character. These folks really approach life with seriousness and depth, often thinking way beyond just the surface of things. They're grounded, analytical, and super dependable, with a strong sense of responsibility. Spades face challenges head-on and actually evolve through them, drawing strength from difficulty rather than shying away from it. Sometimes their intensity might come across as distant or even a bit perfectionistic, but their insight and resilience really do make them the stabilizers of any group. So, when you put it all together, the four suits really form a full picture of human personality. Hearts empathy, clubs intellect, diamonds ambition, and spades wisdom. Each suit has its own strengths and shadows, offering, a symbolic map of how different people navigate life, relationships, challenges, and dreams. Alright, shuffle the cards properly. This isn't just some random game, it's kind of a mirror.
A mirror to who you are?
Yeah, you don't pick a role or a personality here. You just draw a card, and the card chooses you. No cheating either. The deck always knows.
Okay, now what?
Now draw one card. Don't look at it.
I pick this one?
Yeah, that's so you. Before you flip it, everyone guesses.
Why?
Because once it's face up, there's no hiding behind first impressions. Go on, flip it.
Oh no. What is it?
Jack of clubs.
Is that bad?
Not bad, just revealing. It's an instant personality check. One card, your true nature.
So what does that actually mean?
Every card in the deck represents a personality, how you think, react, love, and move through life. Clubs are all about the mind, curiosity, ideas, quick thinking, and the Jack, that's the wild card, the talker, the instigator, the one who keeps everything moving.
That sounds a little too accurate.
Exactly. Jack of clubs energy is clever, adaptable, always learning. You ask questions, stir conversations, poke holes in things that don't make sense. You don't just play the game, you change how it unfolds.
So what about the other suits then?
Hearts lead with emotion, connection, empathy, reaction. Diamonds focus on value and ambition, goals, status, self-worth. Spades are depth and strategy, insight, intensity, long-term vision.
Do they all get along?
Not always. Hearts and clubs clash, feeling versus thinking. Diamonds ground hearts, but test their patience. Spades push everyone to grow, whether they're ready or not. And clubs stir the pot every time.
Is there more to it than that?
Yeah, there's a zodiac layer too. Each card carries astrological traits like communication, intuition, ambition, or intensity. That's why some cards feel instantly familiar, and others hit a little close to home.
So how do I know the full meaning?
Easy. Click the link in the description of the chosen card. The full meaning of the chosen card is there.
And if I don't like what it says?
Then blame the deck, not me.
That's slightly unsettling.
Yeah, that's how you know it's working. Every card tells a story. This one just happens to be yours.
The Ace of Hearts is the first spark of pure emotion. The moment when the heart opens before the mind has time to interfere. It represents fresh feelings, new connections, and the beginning of a story shaped by compassion. When this card appears, it speaks of someone whose emotional energy is young, pure, and unfiltered. The Ace of Hearts personality approaches life with tenderness, curiosity, and an almost childlike willingness to believe in the good within others. They feel deeply, express freely, and carry a quiet hope that love, in all its forms, will be the force that guides their path. People connected to the Ace of Hearts often sense emotion like weather-shifting currents of warmth, longing, and intuition. They thrive in environments where openness is welcomed, and they struggle when forced to hide what they feel. Their gift is their sincerity. Nothing about them is artificial. Whether in romance, friendship, or family, they bring softness into the lives of others, offering comfort simply by being present. Yet this sensitivity means they must learn to protect their heart, to give without losing themselves, and to recognize when their nurturing nature is being taken for granted. Astrologically, the Ace of Hearts aligns most strongly with the signs guided by emotion and imagination. It echoes the sensitivity of Cancer, the romantic depth of Pisces, and the intuitive warmth of Scorpio. These water signs share the Ace's ability to love boldly and feel profoundly. But the card also harmonizes with Libra, whose gentle diplomacy mirrors the Ace's desire for harmony, and Taurus, who brings the stability that a delicate heart often needs. Together, these signs help form relationships built on trust, softness, and genuine emotional connection. When it comes to compatibility between suits, the Ace of Hearts blends beautifully with clubs who feed their imagination with ideas and conversation. Clubs bring stimulation and curiosity into the Ace's emotional world, creating relationships filled with growth and inspiration. The Ace also pairs naturally with Diamonds, who offer structure, reassurance, and a grounded sense of direction. Diamonds help transform the ace's dreams into something tangible, giving emotional visions a place to land. With spades, the connection is profound but often challenging. Spades bring wisdom and depth, but their intensity can overwhelm the ace's lighter emotional nature. When balanced, however, this bond becomes a powerful union of heart and soul where vulnerability meets experience. The Ace of Hearts reminds us that beginnings matter. It is the first breath of love, the first step toward connection, and the promise that emotion, when trusted, can shape a beautiful life. Soft but strong, intuitive yet hopeful, the Ace of Hearts is not merely a personality. It is the heart in its purest form, seeking connection, offering warmth, and believing in the quiet magic of compassion.
Tonight we enter the realm of the King of Hearts, a ruler not of land or empire, but of emotion, intuition, and the quiet power of compassion. This is the king whose crown is carved from empathy, whose throne rests on wisdom learned through love, loss, and the unshakable understanding of the human heart. The King of Hearts represents a deep, mature emotional energy, the healer, the guide, the steady hand in the storm. When this card appears, it speaks of someone who feels intensely, yet chooses peace, someone who leads not through force, but through the gravity of kindness. Their presence comforts, their voice softens, their choices carry the weight of soulful intention. Astrologically, the King of Hearts resonates with the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Like them, he is intuitive, nurturing, protective, and emotionally intelligent. From Cancer, he inherits loyalty and devotion. From Scorpio, depth and transformative passion. From Pisces, imagination and spiritual tenderness. Together, these energies shape a ruler whose heart governs more fiercely than any blade. But the King of Hearts does not walk alone. His relationships with the other suits reveal how he loves, guides, and connects. With the hearts, he finds harmony, emotion flowing into emotion, a union built on shared values and deep understanding, two mirrors reflecting the same soul. With the clubs, he creates balance. Their curiosity and his intuition form a partnership that grows through communication, trust, and emotional expansion. They challenge each other gently and beautifully. With the diamonds, he builds stability. Their disciplined, grounded nature supports his emotional world, while his empathy softens their edges. Together, they create a bond rooted in loyalty, mutual respect, and shared ambition. But with the spades, the connection is powerful and transformative. Spades test him, sharpen him, push him to lead with clarity rather than emotion alone. This pairing can be profound, karmic, and life-altering if both are willing to grow. The King of Hearts stands as the emotional sovereign of the deck. Wise, calm, intuitive, and deeply loving. He teaches that leadership is not dominance, but compassion, not noise, but understanding, not fear, but the courage to feel. If you draw the King of Hearts, you are being called to rise with grace, guide with empathy, and let the wisdom of your heart become your greatest form of power. Now we step into the presence of the Queen of Hearts, the embodiment of love, empathy, and emotional intelligence. She does not rule with command or control, but with understanding. Where others harden, she softens. Where others turn away, she listens. The Queen of Hearts is the guardian of feeling, the keeper of emotional truth, and the quiet force that binds people together. The Queen of Hearts represents deep compassion, balanced with inner strength. She feels everything: joy, sorrow, hope, and heartbreak, yet she is not overwhelmed by it. Instead, she transforms emotion into wisdom. Those who carry her energy are natural nurturers, healers, and confidants. They have an instinctive ability to sense what others need, often before a word is spoken. But her gift comes with a lesson, learning to protect her heart, set boundaries, and give without losing herself. Astrologically, the Queen of Hearts resonates most strongly with the water signs, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. From Cancer, she draws loyalty, warmth, and devotion to loved ones. From Pisces, she inherits intuition, imagination, and spiritual depth. From Scorpio, emotional power and transformative love. She also aligns beautifully with Libra, whose desire for harmony mirrors her own, and Taurus, who offers stability and grounding to her emotional world. Her relationships with the other suits reveal how the Queen of Hearts connects, loves, and grows. With hearts, she finds emotional harmony and deep mutual understanding, a bond built on shared values and empathy. With clubs, the connection becomes mentally and emotionally enriching. Clubs bring conversation, ideas, and perspective, helping her articulate feelings she often senses intuitively. With diamonds, she forms a grounding partnership. Diamonds provide structure, security, and reassurance, while she softens their ambition with care and emotional insight. With spades, the relationship is profound and transformative. Spades challenge her emotionally, pushing her toward growth, resilience, and deeper self-awareness. This pairing can be intense, but it often leads to powerful personal evolution. The Queen of Hearts stands as the emotional center of the deck, intuitive, loving, and quietly powerful. She teaches that true strength is not found in control, but in compassion, not in dominance, but in understanding. When this card appears, it is a reminder to lead with empathy, trust your emotional intelligence, and honor the wisdom of your heart. Now, we meet the Jack of Hearts, the romantic, the dreamer, and the emotional explorer of the deck. Where the Queen nurtures and the King protects, the Jack feels first. He leads with his heart, guided by curiosity, passion, and the thrill of connection. The Jack of Hearts represents youthful emotion, open, hopeful, and endlessly searching for meaning through love and experience. The Jack of Hearts carries emotional honesty and vulnerability. Those aligned with this card feel deeply and express freely. They fall in love quickly, recover slowly, and, they believe in possibilities, even after disappointment. There is innocence here, but also courage, the bravery to feel when others shut down. His lesson is balance, learning when to follow the heart and when to protect it from giving too much too soon. Astrologically, the Jack of Hearts resonates strongly with Cancer and Pisces, signs known for emotional openness and sensitivity. From Cancer, he gains loyalty and a longing for emotional safety. From Pisces, imagination, idealism, and romantic fantasy. He also aligns with Libra, the lover of harmony and relationships, and Leo, whose warmth and passion mirror his expressive heart. So, in relationships, the Jack of Hearts connects differently with each suit. With Hearts, the bond is emotional, playful, and deeply affectionate. It's really a meeting of feelings and shared vulnerability. With Clubs, the connection becomes lively and expressive. Clubs encourage communication and mental stimulation, helping the Jack articulate his emotions and, see love from new perspectives. With Diamonds, the relationship brings grounding and lessons in value. Diamonds teach the Jack about stability, self-worth, and commitment, while he reminds them to lead with feeling, not just logic. With Spades, the pairing is intense and transformative. Spades push the Jack toward emotional maturity, challenging him to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient through love's deeper lessons. The Jack of Hearts reminds us that love begins with courage, the courage to feel, to hope, and to open the heart even when the outcome is uncertain. When this card appears, it signals new emotional beginnings, heartfelt connections, and the reminder that vulnerability is not weakness. It's actually the start of true connection. Now we arrive at the Ten of Hearts, the card of emotional fulfillment, shared joy, and lasting connection. This is the moment where love feels safe, complete, and deeply rooted. The Ten of Hearts really embodies emotional fulfillment, shared joy, and that sense of connection we all long for. The Ten of Hearts represents harmony, not just within relationships, but within the heart itself, a sense of belonging, gratitude, and emotional abundance. Those who carry the Ten of Hearts energy value togetherness, family, and emotional security. They are happiest when love is shared and celebrated, when bonds are nurtured and protected. So, this card speaks of emotional success, not just fleeting passion, but that quiet confidence you get from knowing you're supported, understood, and loved. Its lesson is about presence, really appreciating what has already been built, instead of always searching for what comes next. Astrologically, the Ten of Hearts aligns strongly with Cancer, which is, the sign of home, family, and emotional safety. It also resonates with Taurus, bringing loyalty, stability, and long-term devotion. And then there's Libra, whose desire for balance and harmony really mirrors the energy of this card. There's also a gentle echo of Pisces here, adding compassion, forgiveness, and a real sense of emotional depth to its meaning. In relationships, the Ten of Hearts forms powerful connections across the suits. With Hearts, there is deep emotional unity, shared values, mutual care, and a sense of home found in each other. With Clubs, the bond is supportive and communicative. Clubs bring ideas, conversation, and mental stimulation, helping keep the emotional connection alive and expressive. With Diamonds, the relationship becomes stable and rewarding. Diamonds provide security and structure, while the Ten of Hearts brings warmth, meaning, and emotional richness to material success. With Spades, the connection is mature and resilient. Spades add depth, wisdom, and life experience, strengthening the emotional bond through shared understanding and growth. The Ten of Hearts stands as one of the most positive cards in the deck, a reminder that true wealth is emotional fulfillment, shared joy, and lasting love. When this card appears, it signals harmony, gratitude, and the reassurance that the heart is exactly where it belongs. Now, we step into the glow of the Nine of Hearts, the card of wishes fulfilled, emotional contentment, and heartfelt joy. Often called the wish card, the Nine of Hearts represents moments when the heart feels full, when gratitude replaces longing, and happiness comes not from what's missing, but from what already is. Those aligned with the Nine of Hearts carry a natural warmth and optimism. They believe in love, in kindness, and in the power of emotional generosity. This card speaks of personal satisfaction and shared happiness, the joy that comes from meaningful connections, celebration, and emotional generosity. Yet its lesson is balance, remembering that true fulfillment grows when joy is shared, not hoarded. Astrologically, the Nine of Hearts resonates strongly with Leo, the sign of celebration, warmth, and heartfelt expression. It also aligns with Sagittarius, bringing optimism, generosity, and emotional freedom, and Cancer, adding emotional depth and care. There is also a subtle influence of Pisces, enhancing compassion, imagination, and emotional openness. In relationships, the Nine of Hearts forms joyful and expressive connections across the suits. With hearts, the bond is loving and celebratory, a shared emotional rhythm built on affection and mutual appreciation. With clubs, the connection is lively and uplifting. Clubs bring conversation, humor, and mental stimulation, amplifying the joy and playfulness of this pairing. With diamonds, the relationship blends pleasure with stability. Diamonds offer security and grounding, while the Nine of Hearts adds warmth, generosity, and emotional richness. With spades, the pairing brings emotional wisdom. Spades add depth, reflection, and maturity, helping transform happiness into lasting fulfillment. The Nine of Hearts reminds us that happiness is not a destination, it is a state of appreciation. When this card appears, it signals gratitude, emotional abundance, and the quiet magic of recognizing how much the heart already holds. Now, we encounter the Eight of Hearts, the card of emotional transition, inner change, and the courage to move forward. This is the moment when the heart recognizes that growth sometimes requires release. The Eight of Hearts speaks of leaving what no longer nourishes the soul, not from loss, but from self-respect and emotional clarity. Those who resonate with the Eight of Hearts are deeply introspective. They feel emotions fully, yet understand that holding on too tightly can prevent growth. This card represents emotional honesty, the willingness to walk away from comfort in search of something more aligned with the heart's truth. Its lesson is trust, trusting that emotional endings often lead to deeper fulfillment. Astrologically, the Eight of Hearts aligns most strongly with Scorpio, the sign of transformation and emotional rebirth. It also resonates with Pisces, bringing intuition, surrender, and spiritual awareness, and Capricorn, adding resolve, self-discipline, and the strength to make difficult emotional decisions. There is also a subtle echo of Virgo, encouraging reflection, clarity, and emotional discernment. In relationships, the Eight of Hearts forms thoughtful and growth-oriented connections across the suits. With hearts, the bond is emotionally deep but introspective. It's like a shared understanding of growth, healing, and emotional evolution. With clubs, the connection encourages perspective. Clubs help process emotion through thought and communication, offering clarity during times of emotional change. With diamonds, the relationship becomes a lesson in values. Diamonds provide grounding and security, helping stabilize emotional transitions while learning what truly matters. With spades, the pairing is profound and transformative. Spades mirror the Eight of Hearts' depth, pushing both toward emotional maturity, wisdom, and inner strength. The Eight of Hearts reminds us that not all endings are failures, some are awakenings. When this card appears, it signals emotional growth, honest self-reflection, and the quiet bravery required to follow the heart towards something more meaningful. Now we step into the mist of the Seven of Hearts, the card of illusion, temptation, and emotional confusion. This is where the heart is pulled in many directions at once, drawn by dreams, promises, and possibilities that may not all be what they seem. The Seven of Hearts represents choice, fantasy, and the challenge of seeing clearly through emotional fog. Those aligned with the Seven of Hearts are imaginative and emotionally rich, but often torn between options. They feel deeply, dream vividly, and long for meaningful connection, yet may struggle with uncertainty or idealizing situations and people. The lesson of this card is clarity, learning to separate true emotional fulfillment from illusion and desire from reality. Astrologically, the Seven of Hearts resonates strongly with Pisces, the dreamer of the zodiac, bringing imagination, fantasy, and emotional sensitivity. It also aligns with Gemini, reflecting duality, indecision, and multiple possibilities, and Libra, adding the theme of choice and emotional balance. There is also a subtle influence of Cancer, heightening emotional attachment and vulnerability. In relationships, the Seven of Hearts creates intriguing but, complex dynamics across the suits. With hearts, the connection is emotionally intense yet uncertain, a bond filled with romance, longing, and unanswered questions. With clubs, the pairing brings clarity through communication. Clubs help ground emotion in logic and conversation, cutting through confusion with perspective and truth. With diamonds, the relationship challenges values and priorities. Diamonds push the Seven of Hearts to choose what truly matters, replacing fantasy with stability. With spades, the connection is revealing and transformative. Spades strip away illusion, forcing emotional truth and deeper self-awareness, even when it feels uncomfortable. The Seven of Hearts reminds us that not every dream is meant to be chased. Some are meant to teach discernment. When this card appears, it signals a time to pause, reflect, and listen closely to what the heart truly needs beneath the illusion. Now, we return to the Six of Hearts, the card of nostalgia, emotional memory, and the pull of the past. This is where the heart looks back, not with regret, but with tenderness. The Six of Hearts represents innocence, familiarity, and the emotional comfort found in memories, childhood bonds, and past connections that still linger in the present. Those aligned with the Six of Hearts carry a soft, sentimental nature. They value emotional safety, familiarity, and heartfelt connection. This card speaks of kindness, loyalty, and the warmth of shared history. Its lesson is balance, honoring the past without becoming trapped by it, allowing memories to guide rather than define the heart. Astrologically, the Six of Hearts resonates most strongly with Cancer, the sign of memory, home, and emotional roots. It also aligns with Taurus, bringing comfort, stability, and appreciation for familiar pleasures, and Pisces, adding emotional sensitivity and compassion. There is also a subtle echo of Virgo, reflecting care, service, and emotional attentiveness. In relationships, the Six of Hearts forms gentle and emotionally meaningful connections across the suits. With hearts, the bond is tender and deeply emotional, built on shared memories, trust, and mutual care. With clubs, the connection is reflective and communicative. Clubs encourage conversation, storytelling, and perspective, helping process the past with clarity and understanding. With diamonds, the relationship offers grounding and reassurance. Diamonds bring structure and stability, helping turn emotional nostalgia into something secure and lasting. With spades, the pairing is thoughtful and healing. Spades add wisdom and depth, helping the Six of Hearts learn from the past rather than remain anchored to it. The Six of Hearts reminds us that the past holds lessons, not chains. When this card appears, it signals emotional reflection, healing, and the quiet power of remembering who you were and how far the heart has come. Now we face the Five of Hearts, the card of emotional loss, disappointment, and the difficult process of healing. This is the moment when the heart confronts what has changed, what has been lost, altered, or left behind. The Five of Hearts represents grief, regret, and emotional upheaval, but also the quiet strength that begins to form in its aftermath. Those aligned with the Five of Hearts feel emotions deeply and intensely. They are often shaped by heartbreak, rejection, or emotional shifts that leave a lasting mark. Yet this card is not about staying in sorrow, it is about learning from it. Its lesson is resilience. Recognizing pain without letting it define the future, and understanding that healing begins when the heart chooses to move forward. Astrologically, the Five of Hearts resonates strongly with Scorpio, reflecting emotional intensity, loss, and rebirth through hardship. It also aligns with Cancer, highlighting vulnerability and emotional sensitivity, and Capricorn, bringing endurance, self-control, and the strength to rebuild. There is also a subtle influence of Virgo, encouraging reflection, healing, and emotional recalibration. In relationships, the Five of Hearts creates, these complex and emotionally charged dynamics across the suits. With hearts, the bond is deeply emotional but fragile. Shared pain, empathy, and understanding create closeness, but healing must be mutual. With clubs, the pairing offers perspective and clarity. Clubs help process emotion through communication, logic, and understanding, aiding recovery and growth. With diamonds, the relationship focuses on rebuilding value and stability. Diamonds bring structure and reassurance, helping transform emotional loss into renewed self-worth. With spades, the connection is intense and transformative. Spades confront emotional truths head-on, forcing growth, resilience, and emotional maturity. The Five of Hearts reminds us that heartbreak is not the end of the story. It is actually a turning point. When this card appears, it signals a time of emotional reckoning, healing, and the slow but powerful return of inner strength. Now we pause with the Four of Hearts, the card of emotional restlessness, discontent, and inner withdrawal. This is the moment when the heart feels unmoved by what once satisfied it, not from ingratitude, but from emotional fatigue. The Four of Hearts represents emotional stagnation and the quiet need for renewal. Those aligned with the Four of Hearts often appear calm on the surface, yet inwardly feel disconnected or unfulfilled. They may withdraw emotionally, needing space to process feelings they cannot yet name. This card speaks of emotional numbness and introspection, but also of opportunity, the chance to recognize what the heart truly needs before it can reawaken. Astrologically, the Four of Hearts resonates strongly with Cancer, reflecting emotional sensitivity and withdrawal when overwhelmed. It also aligns with Virgo, bringing introspection, analysis, and emotional self-examination, and Aquarius, adding detachment, distance, and the need for perspective. There is also a subtle influence of Capricorn, emphasizing emotional restraint and endurance. In relationships, the Four of Hearts creates thoughtful and restrained dynamics across the suits. With Hearts, the bond is emotionally muted. Understanding exists, but expression may be limited until feelings are processed. With Clubs, the pairing encourages awareness. Clubs help bring thoughts and conversation into emotional silence, gently prompting reflection and clarity. With Diamonds, the relationship offers grounding and reassurance. Diamonds provide stability and patience, helping the Four of Hearts feel safe enough to re-engage emotionally. With Spades, the connection is introspective and revealing. Spades challenge emotional withdrawal, urging self-awareness and deeper emotional truth. The Four of Hearts reminds us that emotional pauses are not failures, they are in fact invitations. When this card appears, it signals the need to reflect, recharge, and recognize the opportunity quietly waiting for the heart to open again. Now, we step into the light of the Three of Hearts, the card of emotional expression, shared joy, and heartfelt connection. This is the moment where feelings are no longer hidden. They are spoken, shared, and celebrated. The Three of Hearts represents emotional openness, friendship, and the happiness that grows when hearts come together. Those aligned with the Three of Hearts are natural communicators of emotion. They thrive in social spaces, value honesty, and bring warmth wherever they go. This card speaks of celebration, emotional support, and the joy found in community. Its lesson is balance, learning to share emotion freely without scattering energy or relying too heavily on external validation. Astrologically, the Three of Hearts resonates strongly with Libra, the sign of connection, harmony, and shared experience. It also aligns with Gemini, bringing communication, curiosity, and emotional expression, and Leo, adding warmth, enthusiasm, and heartfelt confidence. There's also a subtle influence of Sagittarius, enhancing optimism and emotional openness. In relationships, the Three of Hearts forms lively and uplifting connections across the suits. With Hearts, the bond is joyful and emotionally expressive, shared feelings, laughter, and mutual encouragement. With Clubs, the connection is vibrant and stimulating. Clubs amplify communication and ideas, creating a strong emotional mental bond. With Diamonds, the relationship blends joy with stability. Diamonds provide grounding and commitment, while the Three of Hearts brings warmth, enthusiasm, and emotional richness. With Spades, the pairing adds depth and wisdom. Spades help ground emotional excitement with insight and maturity, turning joy into something meaningful and lasting. The Three of Hearts reminds us that happiness multiplies when shared. When this card appears, it signals celebration, emotional honesty, and the power of connection, a reminder that joy is meant to be felt together. Now we arrive at the Two of Hearts, the card of union, mutual affection, and emotional harmony. This is the moment where two hearts recognize each other, equal, open, and aligned. The Two of Hearts represents partnership, emotional reciprocity, and the quiet magic of connection built on trust and mutual respect. Those who resonate with the Two of Hearts value sincerity and balance in relationships. They seek emotional honesty, shared values, and meaningful bonds rather than fleeting attraction. This card speaks of harmony, cooperation, and the power of choosing one another fully and intentionally. Its lesson is presence nurturing connection through consistent care and emotional openness. Astrologically, the Two of Hearts aligns most strongly with Libra, the sign of partnership and balance. It also resonates with Cancer, bringing emotional depth and loyalty, and Taurus, adding stability, devotion, and lasting commitment. There is also a gentle influence of Pisces, enhancing empathy, intuition, and emotional connection. In relationships, the Two of Hearts forms harmonious and supportive bonds across the suits. With Hearts, the bond is deeply emotional and mutually fulfilling, shared affection, understanding, and trust. With Clubs, the connection is communicative and engaging. Clubs bring conversation and perspective, helping maintain emotional balance through honest dialogue. With diamonds, the relationship offers stability and shared values. Diamonds contribute security and structure, allowing love to grow in a grounded and reliable way. With spades, the pairing is meaningful and transformative. Spades add depth, wisdom, and emotional honesty, strengthening the bond through shared growth and understanding. The Two of Hearts reminds us that true connection is not about losing oneself, but about meeting another as an equal. When this card appears, it signals emotional harmony, mutual respect, and the powerful simplicity of choosing love. The Ace of Clubs is the spark of the mind, the first flash of inspiration that lights up the darkness and turns thought into possibility. This card represents new ideas, fresh knowledge, and the birth of clarity. People connected to the Ace of Clubs carry a natural curiosity that never quite rests. They want to understand the world, explore new concepts, and stretch their mind into places others never think to look. Their thoughts move quickly, their imagination burns bright, and their desire to learn becomes the engine that drives their journey. The Ace of Clubs' personality is curious, clever, and endlessly observant. They thrive on conversation, discovery, and anything that stimulates the mind. These are the people who dive deep into books, theories, creativity, or any subject that sparks a question. They see patterns where others see chaos, and possibilities where others see limits. But with this brilliance comes restlessness. The Ace of Clubs may jump between interests, overthink decisions, or struggle to slow their mind long enough to ground their ideas. Their lesson in life is to focus, to breathe, and to trust that not every curiosity needs to be chased all at once. In astrology, the Ace of Clubs resonates naturally with the signs ruled by intelligence, adaptability, and communication. It mirrors the analytical mind of Gemini, the sharp logic of Virgo, and the expansive wisdom of Sagittarius. These signs fuel the Ace's hunger for knowledge and constant growth. The card also harmonizes beautifully with Aquarius, whose visionary thinking matches the Ace's creative spark, and Aries, whose boldness helps turn ideas into action. Together, these signs create an energy of invention, originality, and intellectual excitement. When it comes to compatibility between suits, the Ace of Clubs forms its most vibrant connection with spades. Spades bring depth, insight, and intellectual challenge. A perfect balance for the club's quick mind. Together they create conversations that last for hours and ideas that reshape entire paths. With hearts, the relationship becomes emotional grounding. Hearts soften the club's mental intensity and remind them to feel as much as they think. Hearts bring warmth and nurturing, helping the club connect more deeply with the people around them. With diamonds, the bond becomes productive and forward-moving. Diamonds add discipline, ambition, and structure, helping the creative spark of the Ace of Clubs transform into real, tangible achievements. In the greater story of the playing card suits, the Ace of Clubs stands as the first breath of imagination, the idea before the plan, the spark before the flame, the moment curiosity changes a life. It reminds us that every great journey begins with a thought, and every breakthrough begins with a question. For those who carry its energy, the world is an endless library waiting to be explored, and their mind is the key that unlocks it. Tonight we step into the domain of the King of Clubs, the sovereign of knowledge, curiosity, communication, and lifelong learning. Where other kings rule through emotion or discipline, the King of Clubs commands through wisdom, insight, and the mastery of ideas. He is the mentor, the guide, the thinker, who sees pathways before others even realize they exist. The King of Clubs represents a powerful blend of intelligence and intuition, a mind that observes everything and forgets nothing. When this card appears, it points to someone who thrives on understanding the world, decoding people, and turning information into influence. They don't just think, they know, quietly, confidently, completely. Astrologically, the King of Clubs is strongly tied to the air and fire signs: Gemini, Aquarius, Sagittarius, and Aries. From Gemini, he takes sharp wit, communication, and mental agility. From Aquarius, insight, innovation, and visionary thinking. From Sagittarius, wisdom, exploration, and truth-seeking. And from Aries, confidence, leadership, and the courage to speak boldly. Together, these energies create a king who leads with knowledge and empowers others through clarity. But his relationships reveal even deeper truths about how the King of Clubs interacts with the world. With the hearts he forms a nurturing connection, intellect meeting emotion. Hearts soften his analytical nature, while he brings understanding, direction and communication to their feelings. This pairing creates emotional intelligence at its best. With the diamonds, he finds structure and ambition. Diamonds turn his ideas into action, while he inspires them to think bigger. Together they build, grow and create something lasting, a partnership built on focus and shared purpose. With fellow clubs he thrives. This is a meeting of minds that sparks creativity, curiosity and powerful synergy. Communication flows easily, ideas multiply and the relationship becomes a source of growth and discovery. But with the spades, the dynamic becomes profound. Spades challenge him intellectually and spiritually. They sharpen his thinking, push him to face truth, and test the strength behind his wisdom. When harmonized, this connection becomes a powerhouse of logic, intuition, and mental mastery. The King of Clubs stands as the ruler of knowledge, understanding, and intellectual clarity. He is the reminder that true power comes not from control, but from wisdom, not from authority, but from insight, not from noise, but from knowing exactly when to speak, and when silence speaks louder. If the King of Clubs appears to you, he calls you to step into your intelligence, trust your inner teacher, and understand that your greatest strength is the knowledge you carry and the wisdom you choose to share. Now we enter the realm of the Queen of Clubs, the strategist, the observer, and the master of insight. She rules not with emotion or force, but with clarity of thought and sharp intuition. Where others react, she understands. Where others speak, she listens. The Queen of Clubs represents wisdom gained through experience and the ability to see patterns others overlook. Those aligned with the Queen of Clubs possess a keen mind and a strong intuitive sense. They are analytical yet perceptive, practical yet imaginative. This card speaks of intelligence balanced with awareness, the ability to read people, situations, and motives with ease. Her lesson is discernment, knowing when to engage and when to remain silent, when to act and when to wait. Astrologically, the Queen of Clubs resonates strongly with Aquarius, reflecting originality, insight, and independent thinking. She also aligns with Gemini, bringing communication, adaptability, and intellectual curiosity, and Virgo, adding analysis, precision, and thoughtful judgment. There is also an echo of Sagittarius, enhancing wisdom, perspective, and a love of learning. In relationships, the Queen of Clubs forms thoughtful and stimulating connections across the suits. With clubs, the bond is mentally rich and mutually understanding. It's really a shared love of ideas, insight, and meaningful conversation. With hearts, the relationship blends thought and feeling. Hearts bring emotional warmth and empathy, while the Queen of Clubs offers clarity and understanding, creating emotional intellectual balance. With diamonds, the partnership is practical and strategic. Diamonds provide structure and ambition, while the Queen contributes foresight and planning. With spades, the connection is deep and perceptive. Spades match her insight and seriousness, forming a bond built on mutual respect, truth, and long-term vision. The Queen of Clubs reminds us that true power lies in awareness. When this card appears, it signals wisdom, perception, and the quiet confidence that comes from truly understanding the game being played. Now we meet the Jack of Clubs, the seeker of knowledge, the messenger, and the restless mind of the deck. This card carries youthful intelligence, curious, adaptable, and always asking questions. The Jack of Clubs represents learning through experience, thinking on your feet, and the spark that comes from new ideas and fresh perspectives. Those aligned with the Jack of Clubs are mentally alert and endlessly curious. They absorb information quickly, enjoy debate and discovery, and thrive in environments where ideas flow freely. This card speaks of versatility and cleverness, but also carries a lesson, learning to focus, commit, and turn curiosity into wisdom rather than scattering energy across too many paths. Astrologically, the Jack of Clubs resonates strongly with Gemini, the sign of communication, learning, and adaptability. It also aligns with Sagittarius, reflecting curiosity, exploration, and a hunger for understanding, and Virgo, adding analysis, observation, and thoughtful detail. There is also a subtle influence of Aquarius, enhancing originality and innovative thinking. In relationships, the Jack of Clubs creates lively and mentally stimulating connections across the suits. With clubs, the bond is energetic and idea-driven, shared curiosity, conversation, and intellectual play. With hearts, the relationship blends thought and feeling. Hearts bring emotional depth and sensitivity, while the Jack of Clubs offers perspective, humour, and understanding. With diamonds, the partnership becomes practical and motivating. Diamonds provide direction and structure, helping turn ideas into tangible outcomes. With spades, the connection is intense and transformative. Spades challenge the jack to deepen thought, sharpen insight, and mature mentally and emotionally. The Jack of Clubs reminds us that growth begins with curiosity. When this card appears, it signals learning, communication, and the exciting moment when ideas begin to shape destiny. The Ten of Clubs enters as the card of mental power and momentum. This is the moment where ideas stop floating and start working. 10 energy represents completion, mastery, and pressure, and in the suit of clubs, that pressure lives in the mind. If this card found you, you carry a strong mental drive, curiosity sharpened into strategy, thought turned into action. Astrologically, the Ten of Clubs resonates with Mercury-ruled energy, echoing signs like Gemini and Virgo, thinkers, analysts, problem solvers. There's also a hint of Aquarius, the innovator, pushing ideas beyond the ordinary. This card reflects someone who can juggle multiple thoughts at once, thrive in fast-moving environments, and honestly, feel restless when life becomes mentally dull. In relationships, the Ten of Clubs needs stimulation. Silence without meaning feels heavy. Conversation, ideas, shared plans, that's the oxygen. With hearts, there's attraction and tension. Emotion meets logic. Hearts bring warmth, but clubs may struggle when feelings replace reason. With diamonds, the match is productive. Ideas meet ambition, and thinking turns into results. With spades, the connection runs deep and intense. It's powerful when everything is aligned, but honestly, it can feel overwhelming when control turns into a struggle. The 10 also carries weight. You might find yourself feeling responsible for keeping things moving, solving problems, or just holding everything together. Others, well, they look to you for answers, direction, or clarity, even when you're quietly carrying a mental overload. This card reminds you that mastery doesn't mean carrying everything alone. As a personality, the Ten of Clubs is sharp, capable, and mentally resilient. You're at your best when you're focused, challenged, and trusted. But you know, when you're overstretched, the mind can spiral. Too many ideas, too many expectations. Balance is key. Completion doesn't mean perfection. It means knowing when to pause. If the Ten of Clubs is your card, your strength really lies in mental endurance, strategic thinking, and the ability to turn complexity into clarity. You don't just think, you build. And when your mind is aligned, honestly, there's very little you can't figure out. The Nine of Clubs appears when the mind has been tested and, just refuses to quit. This is the card of mental resilience, persistence, and guarded strength. It represents someone who has learned through challenge, who stays alert, observant, and prepared. If this card finds you, chances are you've likely been pushed before, questioned, doubted, or stretched, and instead of folding, you adapted. Astrologically, the Nine of Clubs carries strong air and earth energy, echoing Virgo's endurance, Capricorn's discipline, and Aquarius's mental independence. There's also a hint of Scorpio's watchfulness, not emotional, but strategic. This card reflects a personality that stays sharp, reads the room, and trusts preparation over impulse. In relationships, the Nine of Clubs is cautious but loyal. Trust is earned, not given freely. With hearts, there can be misunderstanding at first. Emotion wants openness, while clubs protect their thoughts. When balanced, hearts soften the edges and teach emotional rest. With diamonds, the connection is strong and reliable. Shared goals, practical thinking, and mutual respect. With spades, the bond is intense and strategic. Two minds testing each other, strengthening through challenge rather than comfort. The Nine also speaks to boundaries. You've learned when to hold back, when to push forward, and when silence is smarter than reaction. While others may see reserve, this card represents wisdom, knowing that not every thought needs to be shared, and not every battle needs to be fought. As a personality, the Nine of Clubs is sharp, resilient, and quietly determined. You don't crumble under pressure, you adjust, you think ahead, you endure, and when the moment comes, you're ready. If this is your card, your strength lies in mental stamina and strategic awareness. You've already survived the test. Now you decide how to use what you've learned. The Eight of Clubs arrives with momentum. This is the card of rapid thought, quick decisions, and constant movement. Nothing here stays still for long. If this card finds you, your mind works at speed. Ideas connect, plans form, and action follows almost immediately. The Eight of Clubs represents communication in motion, progress, and the urge to keep pushing forward. Astrologically, the Eight of Clubs carries strong Mercury energy, aligning closely with Gemini and Virgo, signs known for mental agility, adaptability, and precision. There's also a spark of Aries, adding urgency and initiative. This card reflects someone who thrives on stimulation, dislikes delays, and feels most alive when life is moving quickly. In relationships, the Eight of Clubs needs flow. Stagnation feels suffocating. With hearts, the connection can be exciting but volatile. Emotion struggles to keep pace with speed. When balanced, hearts bring warmth and grounding to the club's rapid thinking. With diamonds, the match is productive and focused. Ideas meet execution, and momentum turns into tangible results. With spades, the bond is intense and strategic. Fast minds meeting deep insight, powerful when aligned, overwhelming when misaligned. The 8 also carries a lesson. Speed without direction can scatter energy. You may juggle multiple conversations, plans or paths at once, risking burnout or miscommunication. This card encourages clarity, knowing which ideas deserve movement and which should be set aside. As a personality, the 8 of Clubs is sharp, adaptable and driven by mental motion. You are the messenger, the connector, the catalyst. When your focus is clear, you move faster than most and leave impact in your wake. If this is your card, your strength lies in momentum. When you trust your direction as much as your speed, nothing can hold you back. The 7 of Clubs appears at the moment of challenge. This is the card of mental testing, standing your ground, and defending your ideas when they're questioned. It represents a point where belief meets resistance, where you must decide whether to hold firm or rethink your position. If this card finds you, you are being asked to trust your reasoning and protect what you know to be true. Astrologically, the 7 of Clubs carries strong fire and air energy, resonating with Leo's confidence, Aries' assertiveness, and Aquarius' independent thinking. There's also a touch of Virgo, bringing discernment and precision. This card reflects someone who doesn't back down easily, especially when logic and truth are on their side. In relationships, the 7 of Clubs can be defensive but principled. You value respect and intellectual honesty. With hearts, emotions may clash with logic. Hearts want feeling acknowledged, while clubs focus on facts. When balanced, this pairing teaches empathy without sacrificing truth. With diamonds, the relationship is strong and strategic. Shared goals and mutual respect create a united front. With spades, the bond is intense and challenging. Debates sharpen insight, and power struggles test mental resilience. The 7 also speaks to boundaries. You've learned when to say no, when to speak up, and when silence is the strongest stance. Others may see resistance, but this card represents conviction, knowing your position and standing by it without needing approval. As a personality, the 7 of Clubs is mentally strong, assertive, and unwavering. You don't argue for attention, you argue for truth. And when challenged, you rise, sharpen your focus, and hold your ground. If this is your card, your strength lies in confidence of thought. You don't fold under pressure, you defend what matters. The 6 of Clubs arrives with a sense of momentum and recognition. This is the card of mental victory, progress, and earned confidence. It represents a moment where ideas gain traction and effort is acknowledged. If this card finds you, you're stepping into a phase where your voice carries weight and your thinking begins to influence others. Astrologically, the 6 of Clubs carries strong fire and air energy, aligning closely with Leo's confidence, Aries' drive, and Gemini's communication skills. There's also an undertone of Sagittarius, bringing optimism and the belief that growth comes through action and expression. This card reflects someone who thrives when ideas are seen, heard, and respected. In relationships, the 6 of Clubs seeks alignment and recognition. With hearts, the connection can be uplifting. Hearts provide emotional encouragement, while clubs bring clarity and momentum. When balanced, this pairing feels motivating and supportive. With diamonds, the match is goal-oriented and productive. Shared ambition turns ideas into tangible success. With spades, the relationship is purposeful and strategic. Depth and insight help sharpen confidence and long-term vision. The 6 also carries a lesson about humility. Recognition feels good, but growth depends on staying open to feedback and collaboration. Confidence without listening can tip into ego. And this card reminds you that influence is strongest when it's earned through respect, not volume. As a personality, the 6 of Clubs is articulate, self-assured, and mentally persuasive. You move forward with belief in your ideas and the courage to share them. Others notice and often follow. If this is your card, your strength lies in momentum and communication. You don't just think, you lead with your mind. The 5 of Clubs arrives as the card of mental friction and growth through challenge. This is the moment where ideas clash, opinions collide, and thinking is sharpened through resistance. If this card finds you, your mind doesn't grow in comfort, it grows in conflict. You question, debate, test, and push boundaries, not to cause chaos, but to understand truth more clearly. Astrologically, the Five of Clubs carries strong Mercury and Mars influence, blending communication with confrontation. It echoes signs like Gemini, quick thinking and argumentative, Aries, bold and unafraid of friction, and even Aquarius, challenging systems and ideas that no longer make sense. This card belongs to those who learn fastest when something pushes back. In relationships, the Five of Clubs brings tension that can either strengthen bonds or expose cracks. With hearts, emotion meets logic head-on. Feelings may get bruised if communication isn't handled with care. With diamonds, debates turn productive when both sides focus on solutions instead of ego. With spades, conversations cut deep, powerful, intense, and sometimes uncomfortable, but capable of real transformation if both are honest. As a personality, the Five of Clubs thrives on mental stimulation and disagreement. You're the one who asks the uncomfortable question, challenges assumptions, and refuses easy answers. You don't argue to win, you argue to understand. But when unchecked, this energy can feel restless, defensive, or combative. The lesson of this card is learning when to push and, when to listen. The Five also signals a turning point. Conflict isn't here to break you, it's here to refine you. Every challenge sharpens your thinking, and every disagreement, it reveals what really matters. Growth comes not from avoiding friction, but honestly, from engaging with it wisely. If the Five of Clubs is your card, your power lies in intellectual courage. You don't shy away from tough conversations, you step into them. And when your mind is focused, your words don't just challenge, they change the game. The Four of Clubs arrives as the card of mental structure and stability. Where the earlier clubs bring movement and curiosity, the Four pauses to build foundations. This card speaks of organizing thoughts, setting boundaries, and creating systems that allow ideas to last. If this card finds you, your strength lies in bringing order to complexity, turning scattered thinking into something solid and dependable. Astrologically, the Four of Clubs resonates with fixed and earth-influenced air energy, echoing Virgo's precision, Taurus's steadiness, and the grounded side of Aquarius. This is the mind that likes plans, frameworks, and clarity. You may not rush into decisions, but once your thinking settles, it's difficult to shake. Consistency matters more to you than constant change. In relationships, the Four of Clubs seeks reliability and mental safety. With hearts, there's comfort but, occasional friction. Emotion wants expression, while clubs want logic and calm discussion. With diamonds, the match feels practical and productive. Shared goals, routines, and mutual respect for effort. With spades, the connection can be deeply loyal and thoughtful, though sometimes heavy. Both suits value depth, which can turn into silence if neither speaks first. The Four also carries a warning. Stability can become stagnation. When routines harden into rigidity, curiosity fades. This card asks you to keep your mental structures flexible, strong enough to support you, open enough to grow. As a personality, the Four of Clubs is dependable, thoughtful, and mentally disciplined. People trust you to keep things steady, to think things through, to hold the center when others scatter. Your power isn't loud, it's consistent. You create calm through clarity. If the Four of Clubs is your card, your gift is mental grounding. You know how to slow the mind, build structure, and make ideas last. In a world of constant motion, you are the quiet force that keeps everything standing. The Three of Clubs speaks of growth through ideas and shared thinking. This is the card of mental expansion, where curiosity turns into conversation, and conversation turns into possibility. If this card appears for you, it suggests a mind that thrives on exchange, learning, debating, planning, and building ideas with others rather than alone. Astrologically, the Three of Clubs carries strong Mercury energy, aligning closely with Gemini, communication, adaptability, and quick wit. There's also a touch of Libra, bringing balance, social awareness, and the ability to see multiple perspectives at once. This card reflects someone who learns fastest through dialogue and feels energized by collaboration. In relationships, the Three of Clubs needs interaction. With hearts, there's playful chemistry. Emotion meets curiosity, often creating lively connection, though misunderstandings can arise if feelings aren't clearly spoken. With diamonds, the bond becomes productive. Shared ideas turn into tangible plans or goals. With spades, conversations deepen, thoughtful, philosophical, sometimes intense, pushing both people to grow mentally and emotionally. The three represents momentum, but not yet mastery. You may feel excited by new ideas, new people, or new directions, sometimes juggling too many at once. This card reminds you that not every thought needs immediate action. Some ideas need time, testing, and the right allies to truly take shape. As a personality, the Three of Clubs is expressive, curious, and mentally alive. You bring energy into rooms through questions, observations, and insight. Others feel stimulated around you, challenged to think differently or see things from a new angle. Your gift lies in connection, linking ideas, people, and possibilities. If the Three of Clubs is your card, your power is in communication and shared vision. You are here to spark conversations that lead to growth, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you. Every exchange matters. Every idea plants a seed. The Two of Clubs arrives as the card of choice, tension, and mental duality. This is the moment where a decision waits to be made, not yet spoken, not yet acted on, but fully alive in the mind. If this card finds you, you're standing between two ideas, two paths, or two ways of thinking, feeling the quiet pull of possibility in both directions. Astrologically, the Two of Clubs carries strong Mercury energy, echoing Gemini most clearly. Curiosity, contrast, and communication. There's also a subtle Libra influence, weighing options and seeking balance before committing. This card belongs to thinkers who see more than one truth at the same time, and who understand that clarity often comes from contrast. In relationships, the Two of Clubs thrives on mental connection. With hearts, attraction is immediate but complicated. Emotion meets logic, creating sparks and misunderstandings in equal measure. With diamonds, the bond is practical and strategic, built on shared plans and mutual benefit. With spades, the connection is intense and thoughtful, sometimes heavy, as both sides dig deep into meaning and motive. This card often appears when communication matters more than action. Words, questions, and conversations shape outcomes here. Silence can feel, really charged. You may sense that once a choice is made, things won't return to how they were before, and that awareness can cause hesitation. The Two of Clubs reminds you that indecision is still a decision, and clarity grows through engagement, not avoidance. As a personality, the Two of Clubs is curious, alert, and mentally agile. You notice patterns others miss, weighing options carefully before moving forward. Your strength lies in adaptability and insight, but the challenge is trusting yourself enough to choose. If the Two of Clubs is your card, your power is perspective. You understand that life rarely offers simple answers, only meaningful choices, and once your mind commits, momentum follows. The Ace of Diamonds is the first spark of value, the moment when ambition meets clarity and a new path of personal power begins to take shape. This card represents opportunity, determination, and the birth of something meaningful in the physical world. Unlike the emotional beginning of hearts or the intellectual spark of clubs, the Ace of Diamonds steps forward with intention. It's the energy of someone ready to build, achieve, and shape their future through focus and drive. Those who carry this card's essence often feel a deep pull towards success, stability, and a life crafted with purpose. People connected to the Ace of Diamonds possess a natural sense of direction. They know what they want, or at least feel the pressure to find out. Their minds are sharp, their standards are high, and their desire to create something lasting fuels everything they do. There is a quiet confidence around them, even when they doubt themselves. They are the planners, the organisers, the ones who transform ideas into action and dreams into results. But this strong will comes with its own challenges. The Ace of Diamonds can become stubborn, overly focused, or fearful of failure. Their life lesson is to trust the process, to allow space for rest, and to remember that value comes not only from achievement, but from authenticity. Astrologically, the Ace of Diamonds resonates most strongly with signs that understand structure, ambition, and self-worth. It mirrors the grounded determination of Taurus, the disciplined resilience of Capricorn, and the analytical precision of Virgo. These earth signs support the Ace's desire for security and accomplishment. The card also aligns harmoniously with Leo, whose confidence inspires boldness, and Libra, whose sense of beauty and balance reflects the Ace's value-driven mindset. Together, these signs help shape a personality that is both practical and radiant. So when it comes to compatibility between suits, the Ace of Diamonds forms its most stable connection with hearts. Hearts bring emotional warmth and intuitive support, which really helps the Ace soften their drive and, trust connection over perfection. Now, with clubs, the relationship gets mentally stimulating and creative. Clubs bring in new ideas, while the diamond provides the structure to actually bring those ideas to life. And with spades, the bond becomes deep and transformative. Spades offer wisdom, grounding, and truth, pushing the ace to evolve through challenges rather than just avoid them. This pairing can be powerful though, and often intense, leading to growth through shared resilience. In the larger story of the playing card suits, the Ace of Diamonds stands as the beginning of purpose, the first step toward personal achievement, self-value, and the creation of something truly meaningful. It's really the card of new opportunities, fresh motivation, and the realization that each person has the power to build the life they envision. For those touched by its energy, the world becomes a landscape of potential, just waiting to be shaped by determination, clarity, and the quiet diamond brilliance within. Tonight we step into the world of the King of Diamonds, a ruler shaped by value, vision, and the mastery of the material realm. Where other kings govern through emotion, intellect, or discipline, the King of Diamonds commands through achievement, self-worth, and purposeful ambition. He understands the price of success, and more importantly, the value of what lasts. The King of Diamonds represents leadership in its most practical form. He is the architect, the provider, the decision maker who turns plans into prosperity. When this card appears, it points to someone who knows how to build wealth, stability, reputation, and legacy. Their confidence is not loud, but it is undeniable. They carry authority because they have earned it. Astrologically, the King of Diamonds aligns most strongly with the earth and fire signs: Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, Leo, and Aries. From Taurus, he gains patience, reliability, and an appreciation for quality. From Capricorn, discipline, structure, and long-term vision. From Virgo, precision and responsibility. From Leo and Aries, bold leadership, courage, and the will to succeed. Together, these energies create a king who balances ambition with integrity. His relationships with the other suits reveal how the King of Diamonds builds connection as carefully as he builds success. With the heart, he creates emotional security. Hearts soften his drive, while he offers protection, loyalty, and stability. This pairing thrives when ambition and affection move in harmony. With the clubs, the connection becomes strategic and inspired. Clubs bring ideas, insight, and creativity. The King of Diamonds provides structure, funding, and execution. Together, they turn vision into reality. With the spades, the bond is serious and transformative. Spades challenge him intellectually and spiritually, pushing him to refine his power and face truth beyond material success. This partnership can be intense, but profoundly rewarding. With fellow diamonds, the relationship is one of mutual respect and shared values. Together, they build empires, protect traditions, and understand the true meaning of worth. The King of Diamonds stands as the embodiment of success earned through discipline, clarity, and responsibility. He reminds us that wealth is not just currency, it is confidence, values, and the ability to create security for oneself and others. If the King of Diamonds appears in your path, it is a call to step into leadership, recognize your value, and build a future that reflects both your ambition and your integrity. The Queen of Diamonds arrives with quiet authority and unmistakable presence. This is the card of value, not just money or status, but self-worth, standards, and knowing exactly what you bring to the table. When this card appears, it speaks of someone who understands power through confidence, independence, and discernment. The Queen of Diamonds does not chase, she attracts. Astrologically, this card carries strong Venus and Earth sign energy, resonating with Taurus and Capricorn, with a touch of Libra's refinement. There is beauty here, but also structure, desire balanced by practicality. This queen knows how to build security, cultivate success, and protect what she values, whether that's a career, a relationship, or her own boundaries. In relationships, the Queen of Diamonds expects mutual respect. With hearts, there is warmth and admiration, but also a test. Emotion must be consistent, not chaotic. She can nurture a heart, but won't tolerate emotional dependence. With clubs, the connection is stimulating and strategic. Ideas meet ambition, and conversation, well, it really fuels growth. With spades, the bond runs deep and serious. It's powerful, loyal, and intense, though sometimes, a bit guarded on both sides. As a personality, this queen is composed, perceptive, and selective. She reads the room before she speaks and chooses her investments, whether emotional or material, quite wisely. Others may see elegance or success, but beneath that is resilience earned through experience. She has learned when to give and when to walk away. The Queen of Diamonds also carries a lesson. Knowing your worth means honouring it. Overgiving depletes power. Underestimating yourself invites imbalance. This card reminds you that abundance grows where confidence and clarity meet. If the Queen of Diamonds is your card, you are here to lead through value, not force. You set standards simply by existing. And when you choose, whether love, loyalty, or ambition, you choose with intention. Every card tells a story. This one speaks of worth, wisdom, and unshakable presence. The Jack of Diamonds arrives as the spark of ambition, young, driven, alert to opportunity. This card represents movement in the material world, money, value, status, and self-worth in motion. If this card finds you, you are someone who learns fast, adapts quickly, and senses potential before others see it. You are not satisfied with standing still. Progress is your language. Astrologically, the Jack of Diamonds resonates strongly with Mercury and Earth energy, blending signs like Virgo and Gemini with flashes of Capricorn ambition. There's curiosity here, but also calculation. You observe, ask questions and test boundaries, all while quietly upgrading your position. You may appear relaxed on the surface, but your mind is always tracking value, time, effort, people, and payoff. In relationships, the Jack of Diamonds is, well, pretty selective. With hearts, there's this attraction mixed with a bit of tension. It's like emotion meets ambition. Hearts offer warmth and connection, but honestly, they might feel neglected if goals start to take priority. With clubs, the match is lively and strategic. Ideas feed ambition, plans form quickly, and yeah, conversations are definitely stimulating. With spades, the connection is powerful but, also demanding. Depth and intensity can really sharpen your focus, or maybe even expose insecurity around control and worth. As a personality, the Jack of Diamonds is clever, persuasive, and constantly evolving. You know how to sell an idea, position yourself, and read a room. You may experiment with identity, trying on different roles as you climb, but beneath it all is a strong desire to prove yourself. The challenge is remembering that value isn't only measured in outcomes, but in integrity. The Jack energy also brings risk. You may chase opportunity too quickly, or tie your self-worth to success alone. This card reminds you that ambition works best when paired with patience. Growth is not just about gaining, it's about learning what truly matters. If the Jack of Diamonds is your card, you are here to explore potential, test limits, and discover your value in real time. You are learning the rules of the game, and once you do, you play it well. The Ten of Diamonds arrives as the card of achievement, responsibility, and material culmination. This is the moment where ambition reaches its peak, not just wanting success, but carrying it. When this card appears, it speaks of value built over time, goals realized, and the weight that comes with having more to manage, protect, or sustain. Astrologically, the Ten of Diamonds resonates strongly with earth signs, especially Capricorn and Taurus, builders, planners, and providers. There's also a trace of Saturn energy here, emphasizing discipline, long-term thinking, and the understanding that true success is earned, not rushed. This card reflects someone who understands effort, structure, and the price of stability. In relationships, the Ten of Diamonds seeks security and shared purpose. With hearts, there's warmth and loyalty, but also, a bit of tension. Emotion wants freedom, while diamonds focus on structure and future planning. With clubs, the pairing is strategic and productive. Ideas meet execution, and vision, it turns into reality. With spades, the connection is powerful and serious. Deep bonds are formed through shared responsibility, though honestly, it can feel quite heavy if emotions stay unspoken. The 10 also reveals pressure. You may be the one others rely on, financially, emotionally, or structurally. Success brings comfort, but also expectations. This card reminds you that abundance means nothing if it isolates you or leaves no room for joy. As a personality, the Ten of Diamonds is dependable, ambitious, and grounded. You understand value, not just money, but time, trust, and effort. You're at your best when building something lasting, something that supports more than just yourself. If the Ten of Diamonds is your card, your lesson is balance. Achievement matters, but so does knowing when enough is enough. True wealth isn't only what you hold, it's what you can share without losing yourself. The Nine of Diamonds is the card of value under pressure, a moment where ambition, effort, and self-worth are tested. This card doesn't ask what you want, it asks what you're willing to stand by. When the Nine of Diamonds appears, it signals independence, resilience, and a powerful awareness of your own worth, often earned the hard way. Astrologically, the Nine of Diamonds carries strong Venus and Saturn influences, echoing signs like Libra, Capricorn, and Taurus. There's a refined sense of value here, not just money or success, but dignity, boundaries, and self-respect. This is someone who has learned when to invest, when to withdraw, and when to stand alone rather than compromise what matters. In relationships, the Nine of Diamonds is selective. With hearts, there's warmth and emotional pull, but also a lesson: love must not cost self-worth. Hearts offer connection, but diamonds demand balance. With clubs, the connection is practical, and strategic ideas meet value. Planning meets payoff. With spades, the bond runs deep and serious. Two forces that understand endurance, sacrifice, and long-term vision, though the intensity can feel heavy. This card often appears after a cycle of giving too much, or proving yourself endlessly. The Nine of Diamonds knows the price of ambition and chooses carefully where energy goes next. You may appear strong, polished, or self-contained, but beneath that is experience, discipline, and a quiet refusal to be undervalued again. As a personality, the Nine of Diamonds is composed, discerning, and quietly powerful. You don't chase approval, you attract respect by knowing your limits. While others may rush ahead, you move deliberately, protecting what you've built and what you've become. If the Nine of Diamonds is your card, your lesson is clear. Your worth is not negotiable. Success means nothing if it costs your integrity. You've earned your position. Now you decide who gets access to it. The Eight of Diamonds arrives as the card of focused ambition and disciplined effort. This is the energy of building something real, not through luck, but through consistency, repetition, and quiet determination. If this card found you, it speaks to someone who understands that value is created step by step, not overnight. Astrologically, the Eight of Diamonds carries strong Saturn and Earth sign energy, resonating with Virgo, Capricorn, and touches of Taurus. These signs reflect precision, responsibility, and long-term vision. This card belongs to those who refine their craft, master details, and take pride in doing things properly, even when no one is watching. In relationships, the Eight of Diamonds is steady and dependable, but not flashy. With clubs, the bond is productive. Ideas meet structure, plans turn into systems. With hearts, there can be tension. Emotion wants expression, while diamonds focus on practicality and results. With spades, the connection runs deep and serious. Both value loyalty, commitment, and long-term stability, though the emotional intensity may feel heavy at times. This card often appears when responsibility increases. You may feel pressure to perform, provide, or prove your worth, especially in career, finances, or personal goals. Others rely on your consistency, even if they don't always say it. The Eight of Diamonds reminds you that discipline is powerful, but rest is part of mastery too. As a personality, the Eight of Diamonds is resilient, reliable, and quietly ambitious. You measure success by progress, not applause. While others chase shortcuts, you build foundations, and though your path may feel slower, it's far more solid. If the Eight of Diamonds is your card, your strength lies in patience, work ethic, and the ability to turn effort into lasting value. You don't just chase success, you earn it one step at a time. The Seven of Diamonds is the card of testing value. This is where ambition pauses and asks a deeper question. Is this really worth it? If this card appears, it speaks of reassessment of money, effort, self-worth, and the energy you invest in the world. It's not about failure or success yet. It's about deciding what deserves your continued focus. Astrologically, the Seven of Diamonds resonates with Saturn-influenced energy, echoing signs like Capricorn and Virgo, disciplined, practical, and self-evaluating. There's also a touch of Libra, weighing balance and fairness. This card reflects someone who works hard, but refuses to waste effort on empty rewards. You're learning when to push and when to redirect. In relationships, the Seven of Diamonds is selective. With hearts, there can be emotional tension. Hearts want reassurance, while diamonds need proof that the investment is mutual. With clubs, conversations revolve around plans, strategies, and future value. This pairing can thrive if ideas turn into action. With spades, the connection becomes serious and transformative. Both suits respect depth, but power struggles can arise if goals don't align. This card often appears during moments of quiet doubt, not dramatic collapse, but subtle questioning. You may find yourself asking whether your work, relationships, or goals still reflect who you are becoming. The Seven of Diamonds reminds you that growth sometimes requires adjustment, not persistence, for persistence's sake. As a personality, the Seven of Diamonds is thoughtful, resilient, and quietly ambitious. You understand that value isn't just measured in money or status, it's measured in sustainability. You're willing to pause, reflect, and recalibrate, rather than burn out chasing something that no longer fits. If the Seven of Diamonds is your card, your strength lies in discernment. You know when to continue and when to change course, and that ability to reassess without fear is what ultimately protects your future success. The Six of Diamonds speaks of balance, exchange, and earned stability. This is the card of give and take, where effort begins to show results, and value is measured not just in money, but in respect, time, and energy. If this card appears for you, it reflects a personality that understands fairness, responsibility, and the quiet power of consistency. Astrologically, the Six of Diamonds carries strong Venus-influenced Earth energy, aligning closely with Taurus and Libra. There's an appreciation for comfort, harmony, and security here, but also an awareness that balance must be maintained. You know when to give, when to receive, and when something has become uneven. This card often belongs to someone others rely on, financially, emotionally, or practically. In relationships, the Six of Diamonds seeks mutual investment. With hearts, there's warmth and generosity. Diamonds provide structure while hearts provide feeling, creating a steady, emotional bond. With clubs, the connection is practical and strategic. Ideas meet resources, planning turns into progress. With spades, the relationship deepens through shared responsibility, intense but meaningful, especially when long-term goals are aligned. This card also carries a lesson: value yourself as much as you value others. Six energy can sometimes overgive, believing stability comes from holding everything together. But true balance means knowing your worth and expecting fairness in return. When respected, the Six of Diamonds thrives, calm, dependable, and quietly influential. As a personality, the Six of Diamonds is grounded, trustworthy, and quietly successful. You don't rush outcomes, you build them. Your strength lies in patience, fairness, and the ability to create lasting stability where others see only effort. When this card chooses you, it reminds you that balance isn't accidental, it's earned. The Five of Diamonds arrives as the card of change, value shifts, and restless ambition. This is not a comfortable card, it's a movement card. When the Five of Diamonds appears, it signals a turning point around money, self-worth, priorities, and what you believe you deserve. If this card chose you, life rarely stays still for long. Astrologically, the Five of Diamonds carries strong Mercury energy, echoing signs like Gemini and Virgo, mixed with the adaptability of Sagittarius. This is the mindset of someone who learns through experience, risk, and trial. You adapt quickly, think on your feet, and are often pulled toward new opportunities. Even when stability feels safer, you grow by doing, not waiting. In relationships, the Five of Diamonds craves freedom and growth. With hearts, the connection can feel exciting but unstable. Emotion wants security, while diamonds chase progress. With clubs, ideas and movement align beautifully, creating momentum and shared goals. With spades, tension emerges around control and long-term planning. Spades want depth and structure, while the Five of Diamonds wants flexibility and options. This card often belongs to someone redefining success. You may question old goals, leave comfort zones, or feel torn between security and potential. The Five doesn't settle, it experiments. That can look kinda chaotic from the outside, but internally, it's about discovering true value, rather than inherited expectations. As a personality, the Five of Diamonds is adaptable, resourceful, and resilient. You can land on your feet even after setbacks. But the challenge is grounding, knowing when change is growth and when it's avoidance. The lesson of this card is not just to move forward, but to choose where you're going. If the Five of Diamonds is your card, you are in a season of recalibration. What you value is shifting, what you chase is evolving, and while the path may feel uncertain, this card reminds you, growth rarely comes without motion, and motion is where you thrive. The Four of Diamonds speaks of stability, structure and value, not just what you earn, but what you build. This card represents foundations, financial, emotional and personal. If this card appears for you, it suggests a need to secure your ground, to define what truly matters, and to protect what you've worked hard to create. Astrologically, the Four of Diamonds aligns strongly with Earth sign energy, especially Taurus and Capricorn. There's a practical mindset here, patient, disciplined and focused on long-term rewards. This card values consistency over risk and understands that real success is rarely rushed. There's also a subtle Saturn influence, reminding you that limits and boundaries can actually be a source of strength. In relationships, the Four of Diamonds seeks reliability. With hearts, this card offers security and loyalty, but may struggle when emotions demand spontaneity over structure. With clubs, there's mutual respect, planning meets strategy, though overthinking can slow progress. With spades, the bond is serious and enduring, built on trust and shared long-term vision, though it may feel heavy if flexibility is lost. So, as a personality, the Four of Diamonds is grounded, dependable, and really values control over chaos. You're someone others rely on, steady, calm, and often the one holding things together. But this card also carries a quiet warning. Holding too tightly to security can actually block growth. Stability should support life, not restrict it. If the Four of Diamonds is your card, your strength lies in creating solid foundations in money, relationships, and self-worth. You understand the power of patience and the value of commitment, and when you allow yourself to balance structure with openness, what you build doesn't just last, it thrives. The Three of Diamonds speaks of growth through effort. This is the card of learning value the hard way, through trial, adjustment and persistence. Where diamonds rule worth, ambition and material focus, the number 3 introduces motion. Plans are no longer ideas. They're being tested in the real world. If this card appears for you, you're in a phase of building, refining skills, proving yourself, and discovering what truly deserves your energy. Astrologically, the Three of Diamonds carries strong earth sign energy, particularly Capricorn and Virgo, where discipline meets refinement. There's also a trace of Taurus, reminding you that value grows slowly, not instantly. This card belongs to those who are learning how to turn effort into reward, not overnight success, but sustainable progress. In relationships, the Three of Diamonds is practical and observant. With hearts, there's warmth, but also friction. Emotions want reassurance, while diamonds focus on stability and results. With clubs, the connection is productive. Ideas meet effort. Conversations turn into plans. With spades, the relationship becomes serious and purposeful, deep, sometimes heavy, but capable of long-term strength if both sides respect the process. This card often appears when you're reassessing your worth, not just financially, but personally. Are you investing in people, goals, or environments that return value? The Three of Diamonds asks you to notice where energy leaks and where commitment is quietly paying off. As a personality, the Three of Diamonds is diligent, learning, and quietly ambitious. You may not seek attention, but you care deeply about progress. You're willing to start small, refine your approach, and build something meaningful over time. Your strength lies in patience and self-improvement, even when no one is watching. If the Three of Diamonds is your card, trust the process you're in. Growth doesn't always feel dramatic, but every effort compounds. Value is being shaped, and soon it will show. The Two of Diamonds arrives as the card of connection, exchange, and shared value. This is the moment where ambition meets partnership, where goals are no longer carried alone. If this card appears for you, it speaks of balance between giving and receiving, earning and sharing, building something that only works when two forces align. Astrologically, the Two of Diamonds carries strong Venus energy, echoing signs like Libra and Taurus, harmony, attraction, and value-based choices. There's also a subtle influence of Capricorn, grounding the connection in reality and long-term potential. This card reflects someone who understands that success isn't just about personal gain, but about who you choose to build with. In relationships, the Two of Diamonds thrives on mutual respect and clear boundaries. With hearts, the bond is affectionate and supportive. Emotion softens ambition, and love adds meaning to achievement. With clubs, ideas and communication fuel shared goals, though trust must stay strong to avoid power struggles. With spades, the connection is serious and transformative, intense, purposeful, and often karmic, demanding honesty and depth. This card often appears when negotiations, agreements, or pivotal choices are forming. You may find yourself weighing options, deciding who truly aligns with your values. The Two reminds you that not every opportunity deserves your energy. Alignment matters more than abundance. As a personality, the Two of Diamonds is diplomatic, perceptive, and quietly ambitious. You read the room well, sense shifts in power and intention, and know when to step forward and when to step back. Your strength lies in collaboration, but only when the exchange is fair. If the Two of Diamonds is your card, your lesson is simple but powerful. Success grows stronger when it's shared with the right person. Choose wisely, because when values align, what you build together can last far beyond the moment. The Ace of Spades is the card of deep truth, the moment when a hidden doorway opens and a person is forced to meet the part of themselves they can no longer ignore. It carries the energy of transformation, insight, and inner power. Unlike the softness of the Ace of Hearts or the ambition of Diamonds, the Ace of Spades walks a path carved through shadow and wisdom. Those connected to this card feel life intensely, even when they don't show it. They are old souls, born with an instinct for sensing what others miss. Their intuition cuts through illusion, their thoughts reach further than the surface, and their presence often feels far older than their years. People who embody the Ace of Spades are calm on the outside but constantly analysing within. They are drawn to mysteries, truths, hidden patterns, and anything that challenges the mind. They face hardship with a quiet resilience, turning every difficulty into personal strength. The Ace of Spades personality is not afraid of change. In fact, they grow through it. They are thinkers, observers, truth seekers, and silent protectors. But with such depth comes intensity. They may guard their emotions too tightly, struggle with trust, or carry burdens alone. Their lesson in life is to balance strength with openness and insight with compassion. Astrologically, the Ace of Spades resonates most powerfully with the zodiac signs that thrive in depth. It mirrors the intensity of Scorpio, the wisdom of Capricorn, and the analytical power of Virgo. These signs share the Ace's seriousness, focus, and drive for truth. This card also aligns with Aquarius, whose mind breaks boundaries, and Pisces, who adds intuitive sensitivity to the Ace's inner knowing. Together, these signs help activate the intellectual strength and spiritual insight inside the Ace of Spades personality. When it comes to compatibility between suits, the ace of spades connects most naturally with clubs who stimulate their mind and keep their thoughts moving in new directions. Clubs bring curiosity, intelligence and communication, an ideal match for the ace's depth. With diamonds, their relationship becomes practical and grounding. Diamonds bring stability and ambition, helping the ace turn ideas and inner visions into real-world achievements. Hearts form the most delicate and transformative bond with the ace of spades. Their emotional warmth softens the ace's intensity, while the ace provides protection and wisdom in return. Yet this pairing requires balance, for too much emotional pressure may overwhelm the spade's need for space. In the end, the ace of spades is not just a card, it is an awakening. It represents the beginning of wisdom, the birth of personal power, and the moment someone realizes there is more to life than what lies on the surface. This card calls to those who walk the world quietly, but purposefully. Those who transform pain into clarity, and those who understand that strength does not need to be loud to be undeniable. The ace of spades is the compass of the soul, guiding, testing, and revealing the truth that shapes who we become. Tonight we enter the realm of the King of Spades, the most formidable ruler in the entire deck. Where the other kings lead with heart, charm or ambition, the King of Spades rules with truth, discipline and unshakable intellect. He is the strategist, the commander, the shadow walker who sees what others cannot and refuses to be blinded by illusions. The King of Spades represents mastery of the mind, logic sharpened to a blade, wisdom earned through trials, and a presence that commands respect without speaking a single word. His energy is precise, focused and powerful. When this card appears, it points to someone who cannot be misled, manipulated or deterred. A person of depth, authority and unbreakable inner strength. Astrologically, the King of Spades is tied to the air signs, Aquarius, Gemini and Libra. From Aquarius, he inherits the ability to see the world from above, visionary, analytical and ahead of his time. From Gemini, he takes sharp communication, adaptability and unmatched mental agility. From Libra, he carries justice, fairness and the ability to balance shadow with clarity. Together, these forces form the most intellectually dominant king in the deck. But true power is revealed through relationships, and the King of Spades interacts with each suit in a unique, transformative way. With hearts, he creates a dynamic of head versus heart. The emotional depth of hearts softens his stern exterior, while his logic brings structure to their feelings. Together, they grow, but only if both surrender their extremes. With clubs, he forms a powerful alliance of mind and curiosity. Clubs bring ideas, learning, and creativity, while the King of Spades brings direction, discipline, and focus. This pairing can achieve greatness, a mental empire built on shared ambition. With diamonds, the bond is strategic and steady. Diamonds provide practicality, ambition and long-term planning. Spades provide wisdom, clarity and the ability to cut through distractions. Together, they are unstoppable, a partnership of power, precision and purpose. And with spades, he finds his mirror. This connection is intense, rare and transformative. Two forces of intellect, truth, and resilience collide, sometimes harmoniously, sometimes explosively. When aligned, they become an unbreakable force. When misaligned, the world trembles around them. The King of Spades stands as the pinnacle of intellect, strategy, and personal mastery. He is the card of authority, discipline, clarity, and truth. The reminder that real power is not loud, but controlled, not emotional, but deliberate, not reckless, but razor sharp. If the King of Spades appears to you, it means you are being called to rise into your highest potential, to sharpen your focus, trust your wisdom, and step into a version of yourself that refuses to settle for anything less than mastery. The Queen of Spades arrives quietly, but with undeniable presence. This is the card of depth, perception, and emotional intelligence sharpened by experience. Where others react, she observes. Where others rush, she waits. If this card finds you, you are someone who understands that true power doesn't announce itself, it knows. Astrologically, the Queen of Spades carries strong Scorpio energy, layered with Capricorn's composure and a hint of Pisces intuition. This is a soul that sees beneath the surface, reading people, patterns and motives almost instinctively. You may not always speak first, but when you do, it lands. You don't waste words, and you don't trust easily. In relationships, the Queen of Spades is, well, selective. With hearts, there's emotional depth and healing potential, but only if honesty is real. Surface-level feelings just won't survive here. With diamonds, the connection is powerful, but challenging. Ambition meets insight, and success meets scrutiny. With clubs, mental stimulation keeps things alive, but the Queen may grow impatient with inconsistency. With another spade, the bond is intense, loyal, and transformative, a meeting of minds and shadows. This card often belongs to someone who has, really been through things. You've learned boundaries the hard way. You value truth over comfort and depth over popularity. Others may find you mysterious, maybe even a bit intimidating or emotionally reserved, but those allowed close see fierce loyalty, quiet protection, and unshakable strength. As a personality, the Queen of Spades represents wisdom earned, not given. You don't need control, you have clarity. You don't seek validation, you see reality. And while others may underestimate your silence, they often realize too late how much you noticed. If the Queen of Spades is your card, your gift is perception. You see what others miss, you feel what others ignore, and when you choose to act, it's deliberate, meaningful, and impossible to undo. This card doesn't rush fate, it understands it. The Jack of Spades arrives as the observer, the strategist, the quiet force watching everything unfold. This is a card of sharp perception and evolving power, someone still learning their strength, but already aware of it. If this card chose you, you see beneath the surface. You notice patterns others miss, motives others ignore, and truths people try to hide. Astrologically, the Jack of Spades carries strong Pluto and Saturn energy, echoing Scorpio and Capricorn. There's also a shadow of Aquarius, detached, analytical, and unafraid to question systems. This card reflects a mind drawn to depth, mystery, and control, paired with a restless urge to grow stronger through experience. In relationships, the Jack of Spades doesn't open easily. With hearts, there's fascination and friction. Emotion meets guarded intensity. Hearts try to soften the Jack, while the Jack quietly studies the heart's vulnerabilities. With diamonds, the bond is strategic. Ambition aligns with discipline, but trust must be earned. With clubs, there's mental sparring, clever conversations, testing boundaries, and mutual curiosity that can turn into rivalry or brilliance. The Jack energy represents potential still forming. You may feel underestimated, overlooked, or misunderstood, but that's part of the advantage. This card learns by watching, testing, and adapting. You don't rush power, you collect it. Every interaction becomes information, every mistake, a lesson. As a personality, the Jack of Spades is intense, curious, and quietly fearless. You're drawn to challenges, secrets, and transformation. You may play the role of the outsider or the wild card, not because you don't belong, but because you refuse to be predictable. You don't just react to the game, you study it. If the Jack of Spades is your card, your strength lies in awareness, resilience, and growth through shadow. You are becoming something formidable, and the most powerful thing about you is that very few people see it coming. The Ten of Spades is not a light card. It arrives when depth reaches its peak, when lessons are no longer optional, and transformation becomes, unavoidable. This is the card of mental endurance, karmic pressure, and hard-earned wisdom. If the Ten of Spades has found you, you are someone shaped by experience, not illusion. In the language of astrology, this card carries strong Saturn and Pluto energy, echoing signs like Capricorn and Scorpio. There is discipline here, but also intensity. You understand consequences. You think long-term. You don't rush decisions, because you've learned what happens when people do. This is the mind of someone who sees beneath the surface and plans several steps ahead. In relationships, the Ten of Spades seeks depth and truth above comfort. With hearts, the connection can be powerful but challenging. Emotion meets emotional restraint. Hearts want openness. Spades require trust, earned over time. With diamonds, there's respect and mutual ambition, but both may struggle for control. With clubs, the bond is mentally stimulating, yet demanding. Ideas clash, debates sharpen, and growth is constant. This card often belongs to someone who carries weight, responsibility, expectations, or the quiet role of protector and strategist. Others may see you as serious, reserved, or distant, but beneath that surface is loyalty, resilience, and a deep sense of duty. You don't avoid hardship, you endure it, learn from it, and emerge changed. The Ten of Spades also warns against isolation. Strength doesn't require silence. Wisdom doesn't demand solitude. This card reminds you that even the strongest minds need rest, connection, and release. Otherwise, the pressure turns inward. If the Ten of Spades is your card, your power lies in survival, insight, and transformation. You are not here for shallow victories. You are here to outlast, to understand, and to rise stronger than before. This is the end of a cycle and the beginning of a wiser one. The Nine of Spades arrives quietly, but heavily. This is the card of mental endurance, inner battles, and late-night thoughts that refuse to sleep. Where the spade suit lives in depth and truth, the Nine brings awareness of struggle, not as weakness, but as transformation. If this card appears for you, it signals a mind that has seen things, learned hard lessons, and grown stronger through reflection. Astrologically, the Nine of Spades resonates with Saturn-influenced energy, echoing signs like Capricorn and Scorpio, disciplined, resilient, and emotionally private. There's also a shadow of Pisces, where intuition runs deep and emotions are processed internally. This card belongs to those who think deeply, feel intensely, and carry wisdom shaped by experience rather than impulse. In relationships, the Nine of Spades needs understanding and patience. With hearts, there is healing potential. Hearts soften the spades' guarded edges, but emotional honesty must feel safe, not forced. With diamonds, the relationship can feel unbalanced. Ambition may clash with the nine's need for inner stability. With clubs, conversation becomes a lifeline. Logic helps untangle emotional weight, though too much analysis can reopen wounds. With fellow spades, the bond is profound. Two souls who understand silence, depth, and unspoken truth. Powerful, but emotionally intense. The nine also carries the energy of release. This is the point before resolution, the awareness that something must be acknowledged, healed, or let go. Sometimes you may replay moments, question choices, or just feel the weight of responsibility more than others realize. But honestly, this card reminds you, awareness is the final step before freedom. As a personality, the Nine of Spades is introspective, loyal, and emotionally strong beneath the surface. You don't collapse under pressure, you endure, you learn, you transform. And while others may never see the battles you fight, they feel the depth you bring into every room. If the Nine of Spades is your card, your strength lies in resilience, emotional intelligence, and hard-earned wisdom. You don't run from the dark, you navigate it. And once you emerge, you carry clarity that honestly, few can match. The Eight of Spades is the card of inner struggle and mental entrapment. It doesn't arrive loudly, it settles quietly, asking you to look inward. This card speaks of thoughts that loop, fears that repeat, and, honestly, limits that often exist more in the mind than in reality. If the Eight of Spades has chosen you, you're highly perceptive, but sometimes trapped by overthinking what you already understand. Astrologically, this card carries strong Saturn and Pluto undertones, echoing signs like Capricorn and Scorpio. There's discipline here, but also pressure, intensity without release. You feel deeply, think profoundly, and often carry emotional or mental weight longer than most. This is the card of the mind under pressure, powerful but tested. In relationships, the Eight of Spades moves cautiously. With hearts, emotions try to soften the walls, but may feel blocked or misunderstood. Hearts sense the depth, yet struggle with the distance. With diamonds, there's shared ambition, but both may suppress feelings in favor of control or stability. With clubs, conversations can either free you or tighten the mental knots. Ideas help, but too much analysis can deepen the trap. With spades, the connection is intense and karmic. Two deep minds mirroring each other's fears and strengths. So, this card often appears when someone feels stuck, not because they are powerless, but because they believe they are. The Eight of Spades reminds you that honestly, awareness itself is the key. Once you recognize the pattern, you can, step outside it. The cage is rarely locked. As a personality, the Eight of Spades is introspective, guarded, and emotionally complex. You notice what others miss. You carry lessons, not scars. But freedom comes when you stop replaying old narratives and trust your ability to choose differently. If the Eight of Spades is your card, your strength lies in transformation through awareness. You're not here to remain trapped. You're here to realize you never truly were. The moment you shift your perspective, the path opens. The Seven of Spades is the card of hidden strategy, quiet calculation, and unspoken truth. This is not a loud card. It watches, it waits. When this card appears, it speaks of a mind that moves beneath the surface, someone who thinks 3 steps ahead while others are still reacting to the moment. Astrologically, the Seven of Spades resonates strongly with Scorpio and Capricorn energy. Scorpio brings secrecy, intuition, and emotional depth, while Capricorn adds discipline, patience, and long-term planning. There's also a subtle echo of Virgo, analyzing details others overlook. This card reflects someone who doesn't reveal everything at once, and doesn't need to. In relationships, the Seven of Spades values trust above all else. With hearts, the connection can feel intense but fragile. Emotion wants openness, while Spades guards its inner world. If trust is earned, the bond becomes deeply loyal. With diamonds, there's respect and shared ambition, though both may struggle with control. With clubs, the dynamic is mentally stimulating but tense. Cleverness versus caution, curiosity versus restraint. This card often belongs to someone who has learned through experience that not everyone deserves full access. You may appear reserved, even mysterious, but beneath that calm exterior is sharp perception. You read between words, notice patterns, and sense shifts before they happen. You don't rush decisions, you calculate them. The Seven of Spades also carries a warning. Strategy must not become isolation. Holding too much inside can lead to distance, misunderstanding, or unnecessary walls. Strength lies not only in protection, but in choosing when to reveal what truly matters. If the Seven of Spades is your card, you are the quiet strategist, the observer, the one who survives by thinking, not reacting. You move with intention, protect your inner world fiercely, and understand that power doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes the strongest move is saying nothing at all. The Six of Spades arrives as a quiet turning point. This is not the chaos before the storm. It's the moment after, when the mind begins to reorganize. Spades rule depth, truth, and inner worlds, and the Six brings transition. If this card finds you, you're moving away from mental heaviness toward clarity, even if the path forward still feels uncertain. Astrologically, the Six of Spades carries echoes of Mercury and Saturn, blending thoughtful movement with hard-earned wisdom. It resonates strongly with Scorpio and Capricorn energy, signs that understand endurance, transformation, and progress through pressure. This card reflects someone who learns through experience, not shortcuts. You don't escape difficulty, you navigate through it. In relationships, the Six of Spades seeks understanding rather than intensity for intensity's sake. With hearts, there's healing potential. Emotion softens spade depth, offering relief and renewal, though vulnerability may feel unfamiliar. With diamonds, progress is practical and steady. Shared goals help move the mind forward. With clubs, the dynamic is mental and restless. Clubs ask questions, spades search for meaning. Together they can either clear confusion or stir it. This card often appears during a mental shift, leaving old beliefs, outdated roles, or emotional burdens behind. You may not be where you want to be yet, but you're no longer where you were. The Six of Spades reminds you that movement itself is a victory, even when it's quiet and unseen. As a personality, the Six of Spades is reflective, resilient, and evolving. You carry lessons with you, not as weight, but as guidance. Others may see you as calm, reserved, or distant, but beneath the surface, you're processing deeply and choosing your next direction carefully. If the Six of Spades is your card, trust the transition. You're not running from something, you're moving toward understanding. And once the mind shifts, the path ahead becomes clearer than you expect. The Five of Spades arrives as a card of challenge, tension, and inner testing. This is the moment where comfort disappears and growth demands a cost. In the Suit of Spades, the realm of depth, truth, and strategy, the Five represents conflict that sharpens awareness. If this card finds you, you are no stranger to pressure. You grow through difficulty, not ease. Astrologically, the Five of Spades carries strong Saturn and Mars energy, echoing signs like Scorpio, Capricorn, and Aries. There's intensity here, discipline forged by struggle, and the courage to face what others avoid. This card reflects someone who learns through confrontation, with others, with systems, or most often, with themselves. In relationships, the Five of Spades can be challenging but transformative. With hearts, emotions run high, feelings clash with guarded instincts, creating passion or pain depending on honesty. With clubs, mental sparring dominates, debates, power struggles, and psychological tests that either strengthen the bond or exhaust it. With diamonds, conflict often centers on control, ambition, or values, who leads, who sacrifices, and what the cost of success really is. This card often appears during moments of loss, separation, or realization. Not everything is meant to be won. Sometimes the lesson is knowing when to walk away, or when to stand your ground despite the odds. The Five of Spades teaches that strength isn't just endurance, it's discernment. As a personality, this card marks someone intense, perceptive, and emotionally armored. You see beneath the surface, sense unspoken motives, and rarely trust blindly. But this vigilance can become isolation if carried too far. The Five of Spades asks you to choose your battles wisely. Not every conflict deserves your energy. If the Five of Spades is your card, your power lies in resilience, insight, and survival through adversity. You are shaped by trials, not broken by them. And though the path may feel heavy at times, every challenge sharpens the edge that defines who you are becoming. The Four of Spades is the card of pause, protection, and quiet strength. Where other spades push forward with intensity, this card steps back, not from fear, but from wisdom. It represents rest after mental strain, stillness after conflict, and the deliberate choice to retreat so clarity can return. If this card finds you, it speaks of a mind that needs space to breathe. Astrologically, the Four of Spades carries strong Saturn energy, echoing signs like Capricorn and Aquarius. There's discipline here, but also emotional distance. This card belongs to those who value boundaries, structure, and solitude when the world becomes overwhelming. There's also a touch of Virgo's introspection, the careful review of thoughts, patterns, and past decisions. In relationships, the Four of Spades seeks safety over stimulation. With hearts, the connection can feel one-sided. Hearts want emotional expression, while spades need silence to process. With clubs, communication helps bridge the gap, but only if clubs respect the spades' need for space. With diamonds, the bond is stable and grounded. Shared goals create security, even when emotions remain unspoken. With fellow spades, understanding runs deep, though both may retreat at the same time. This card often appears for those who have carried too much for too long. You may be the quiet protector, the one who absorbs pressure without complaint. Others see your strength, but not the cost of maintaining it. The Four of Spades reminds you that rest is not weakness, it is strategy. As a personality, the Four of Spades is reserved, observant, and internally powerful. You don't react impulsively. You wait, watch, and choose your moments carefully. When you move, it's intentional. When you speak, it matters. Your silence is not empty, it's gathering force. If the Four of Spades is your card, your gift is resilience through restraint. You know when to step back, when to shut the door, and when to rebuild quietly. In a world that never stops, you understand the power of stillness, and that alone makes you formidable. The Three of Spades arrives quietly, but it carries weight. This is the card of understanding through challenge, the moment when insight is earned, not given. In the suit of spades, the number 3 speaks of growth through tension, lessons learned by facing what others avoid. If this card appears for you, it suggests a mind that deepens through experience, not comfort. Astrologically, the Three of Spades resonates strongly with air and water crossover energy, particularly Scorpio, Capricorn, and Aquarius influences. There's emotional depth here, but also distance. You observe before you speak, you process internally before you act. This card reflects someone who becomes wiser through reflection, even when that reflection is uncomfortable. In relationships, the Three of Spades is selective. With hearts, there is intensity. Emotion pulls at the spade's guarded nature, creating powerful bonds, but also, moments of emotional strain. With clubs, communication becomes the testing ground. Ideas challenge beliefs. Debates sharpen understanding. With diamonds, the connection is practical but pressured. Goals may align, but emotional pacing must be respected. With fellow spades, there is mutual understanding, though both may struggle to lower their defences. This card often appears for those who have been through emotional or mental crossroads. You've learned that clarity doesn't come instantly. It comes after questioning, after doubt, after growth. The Three of Spades teaches that discomfort can refine you, not break you. As a personality, the Three of Spades is thoughtful, resilient, and perceptive. You don't rush conclusions. You don't take people at face value. You look beneath the surface. And once you understand something, you rarely forget it. Your strength lies in discernment. If the Three of Spades is your card, your power comes from earned wisdom. You see patterns others miss. You understand complexity. And while your path may not be the easiest, it is one that leads to depth, truth, and quiet authority. The Two of Spades arrives quietly but powerfully. This is the card of inner conflict, guarded choices, and unspoken strategy. Where spades rule depth, truth, and the unseen, the two represents division. Two paths, two thoughts, two instincts pulling in opposite directions. If this card chose you, you are someone who thinks deeply before acting, often weighing consequences long after others have already moved on. Astrologically, the Two of Spades resonates with Libra's indecision, blended with the emotional depth of Pisces and the psychological awareness of Scorpio. You feel the tension between logic and intuition, action and restraint. You sense more than you reveal, and while others may mistake your silence for uncertainty, it's actually calculation. In relationships, the Two of Spades is selective and cautious. With hearts, emotions try to break through your walls, sometimes healing, sometimes overwhelming. Hearts want openness, spades need trust first. With clubs, there's mental friction. Questions meet silence. Curiosity meets boundaries. With diamonds, stability offers grounding, but pressure to decide can feel, intrusive. With fellow spades, the connection is intense and unspoken. Two minds circling each other, aware that power lies in what isn't said. This card often belongs to someone at a crossroads. You may feel pulled between loyalty and self-protection, truth and peace, speaking up or staying guarded. The Two of Spades reminds you that choosing nothing is still a choice, and delaying too long can weigh heavier than action itself. So, when we think about it, the choices we make every day, big or small, really do shape who we are. It's fascinating to realize how each decision reflects a part of our personality, even if we don't always notice it right away. Over time, these choices add up, kind of guiding us along a path that's uniquely ours. As a personality, you are intuitive, observant, and emotionally intelligent, even if you don't show it openly. You read the room, sense shifts before they happen, and protect your inner world carefully. Your challenge is learning when to trust your instincts enough to move forward. If the Two of Spades is your card, your strength lies in awareness and restraint. You don't rush, you don't reveal everything, and when you finally choose a direction, it's because you've already seen the outcome long before anyone else did. Draw a card. Meet yourself. This card knows who you are. One card, your true nature. Flip it, your personality's waiting. Your card decides your role, and the deck reveals your strengths. You don't choose the card, it chooses you. Every card tells a story, and this one is yours. Want to know exactly what your card means? All the card predictions and meanings for each card are in the description of this video. Play the card that plays you. Your fate is already in the deck.